Bitcoin miners use a large amount of electricity to maintain and secure the Bitcoin network. This has led to concerns over Bitcoin's effect on the environment. You may have even seen headlines along the lines of "Bitcoin uses as much electricity as some country," or "Bitcoin uses more energy than we harvest from some renewable resource." But is it as bad as people say? Well, for either argument, you might first be left wondering why only Bitcoin is compared to countries or supposedly cancels out those renewables. Why not all air conditioning in the world, or light bulbs or phone chargers? And even then, would any of those really be canceling out the renewables at all? To cancel them out, wouldn't the renewable sector have to suffer somehow from greater demand for certain uses of electricity? To the contrary, miners can actually help provide the demand needed for new renewable energy infrastructure. An area with low energy demand can bring in a Bitcoin mining facility so that a solar farm, wind farm, or hydroelectric plant can be profitable in a location where it otherwise wouldn't be. Bitcoin miners have even historically migrated en masse each wet season to areas supplied with cheap, excess hydroelectric power. So not only can Bitcoin miners make renewable energy infrastructure more viable, they can be some of renewable energy's best customers. Yet the implication seems to be that any energy used by the Bitcoin network is a waste. So let's consider that more fundamental question. Is Bitcoin mining a waste, regardless of how much energy it uses? While Bitcoin mining is often described as the process by which miners process transactions, validating Bitcoin transactions is almost completely separate from the energy-intensive part of Bitcoin mining. Technically, Bitcoin's transaction throughput could skyrocket by 1,000 times without any noticeable effect on the energy usage of the network. So if miners aren't using all that energy to process transactions, what are they doing? Well, in order for Bitcoin to work without a trusted, centralized third party like a bank or government, the network needs a way to agree on things. It's this process that uses so much electricity. Basically, all Bitcoin miners are racing to guess a random number that will allow them to update the network with new transactions. This successful guess is called a proof of work, and miners simply follow the version of the network that has the most proof of work. With this system, the Bitcoin network can make decisions in a decentralized way, and it is also kept exceptionally secure. Miners use specialized hardware that makes as many of those guesses as possible in as short a time as possible, using as little electricity per guess as possible. And that might be a hard pill to swallow. Bitcoin miners use as much electricity as a country just to guess random numbers? That does at least sound rather wasteful. Can't the network coordinate in some other way? The answer is sort of, and also maybe not. Instead of proof of work, some other cryptocurrencies do use other consensus mechanisms. A popular alternative is proof of stake, where basically decisions are made by voting with the coins you own. But this system has its own concerns. For example, is it a good idea to give the people with the most money control over the network at no cost, and then reward them with more money that gives them even more control? For now, the jury is out. You might also wonder whether Bitcoin could use a sort of proof of work where the work being done is at least more useful than guessing random numbers. But not only would it be tough to decide which type of work to use in the first place, any useful work would make the mining network an uneven playing field, so to speak. For example, if Bitcoin miners ran simulations to find new life-saving drugs, then drug companies would find it more profitable to mine than everyone else, because they benefit both from earning Bitcoin and from discovering new drugs they can manufacture. Many of Bitcoin's benefits would be lost were mining to centralize around whoever the productive proof of work benefits. Ironically, the most useful proof of work algorithm for Bitcoin might be the one that is useful for absolutely nothing else. One last note. It's at least possible that Bitcoin will have a net positive effect on mankind, even if it has some downsides with regards to its electricity usage. And if Bitcoin puts the incumbent financial system out of business, it may even be an environmental net positive.